Okay, so fourth period, we ran out of time on this problem, so I just want to go back over the end of it. To recap real quick, this is what we were given, is we were given a right triangle with an altitude drawn to the hypotenuse. That means it goes from B, which is the vertex of the right angle, to the opposite side, to the hypotenuse, such that it is perpendicular. That's what altitude means. So anytime you have a right triangle with an altitude drawn to the hypotenuse, what that does is it makes three triangles, and those three triangles are similar. And this is basically just sort of loosely proving that that's the case. So what I did was, first I said, if these two angles, looking at just the big triangle, if these two angles have to add up to 90, which we know that the two acute angles of a right triangle have to add up to 90, then I'm going to label them any two letters. I chose A and B, basically. This is alpha and beta, and said, okay, alpha plus beta equals 90. Well, then I looked at just this triangle over here on the right, BDC, and said, well, this is 90, so these two have to add up to 90, and one of them's beta already. We just said that. So that means this one has to be alpha. And then these two angles have to add up to 90 because B is the vertex of the right angle in the big triangle, so this is a 90-degree angle. So if these two add up to 90 and this one's alpha, then again subtract alpha from 90 and you get beta. So that ends up being whatever this is labeled, that will also be the same. Whatever this is labeled, this will also be the same. And so we went through and just pulled these three triangles apart and looked at where is the 90-degree angle, where is the alpha, and where is the beta. Okay, so if you need to pause, think about that. You can pull them apart yourself. One thing that if you are having trouble with this, if you don't like the alpha and the beta, but I'm trying to show it to you in a general sense, you can pick two angle measures. Like two angle measures that add up to 90. Just make two up. Say, I'm going to make this 20 and this 70. And then figure out how many degrees this one will have. And figure out how many degrees this one will have. And you'll see which angles are congruent that way. All right, so based on all of this, looking back at problem D from this homework assignment, okay, we had 6 centimeters for AB, X for BD, which is that altitude, and 8 for BC. So if I want to solve this, I'm going to put AB over BD, which is 6 over X, and I know that that is the same as X over 8 because X is BD and 8 is DC. Okay, so looking at AB, hang on. These two triangles, really. There we go. No, we kind of have to go split them. AB over BD. Let's look at it this way. AB over BD is this leg of the smallest triangle over the other leg of the smallest triangle. Okay? So leg over leg of the smallest triangle is also going to give me leg over leg of the medium-sized triangle. So in terms of these two sides, here we go. AD over BD equals BD over CD. It's these two triangles that we're really using. So AD, again, AD, first two letters, over BD, first two letters, is going to have the same ratio as BD, third letter, second letter, over CD, third letter, second letter. And that's how I know that I can set up this proportionality statement, or this proportion, and then I can cross multiply to solve. Let's go ahead and do that. When I solve a proportion, I cross multiply to solve. This one I'm going to do x times x equals 48. Take the square root of both sides. X is the square root of 48. To simplify radicals, we always think about whether that number has a factor, the number under the radical, has a factor that is a perfect square. In this case, yes, 16 is a perfect square. So is 4, but 4 is not the biggest perfect square that goes into 48. And if we use a perfect square that is not the biggest one, we'll have to simplify twice. I'd rather just simplify once. So I'm going to take out the biggest perfect square that goes into 48 as a factor, and that's 16. And the reason we do that is the square root of 16 is 4. So x is 4 root 3.